If you're over 40, if you're over 50 and your eyebrows need help, my eyebrows really needed help. So I got them microbladed, and I kind of thought that if you're like me, I didn't know what microblading even meant. So we're gonna dive into it today. I'm gonna tell you what it is, how much you can expect to pay for it, how to find somebody who does it, what the process is, how it feels during and after. So let's get started. Let's start with a picture of my eyebrows, me with no makeup, about 2 days before I had microblading done. Hi, how are you today? I am so glad that you're here. If you've been here before, welcome back. If you're new, I'm Dawn from Just Doing My Best. I'm here every week with a brand new video for women over 40 and women over 50 who just want to look and feel our very best. I'm 54. You saw the picture of what my eyebrows looked like before microblading. They needed help. I was tired of basically looking like my grandma when I didn't have makeup on. It is true what they say that your eyebrows really frame your face. Please don't neglect your eyebrows. If you're not ready for microblading, if you haven't done microblading, if maybe microblading isn't your thing, I just recently put out a eyebrow tutorial, how to fill in your eyebrows. I will link it here and in the description down below. Definitely check that out if you need a little help with your eyebrows. All right, if you're new to microblading like I was, I had absolutely no idea, zero, any of the details, zero. So I have some notes in front of me, and I promise I'm gonna try my best at the end of this video in a few minutes. You'll know exactly what to expect. First of all, microblading, basically a tattoo. The nice lady just tattoos hairs. That's what she does. She is just making little tattoo strokes to make it look like eyebrow hairs. You pick out the color with her, and she, well, it might be a man, but mine was a nice girl. You pick out the color with her, and when you're done, it looks like eyebrow hairs. So after a few days, when it all heals and everything, I'll tell you all about that. It just looks like eyebrows. That's all it is. It's basically just a tattoo. The cost runs $500 to $600. Kind of priced like a tattoo, okay? So it runs about $500 or $600. When I was calling around, I found some that were like $550. I found some that were $650. So I found my girl that did mine, kind of ran right in the middle, and she was amazing. And I want to tell you how to find somebody. When you're trying to find someone to microblade your eyebrows, this is where social media is your friend. And if you're not good at social media, find someone to help you. What you want to do is, since microblading is big right now, the people who do it want to get the word out. They want to show people what they can do. So what you're going to want to do is go on Facebook or Instagram. I went on Instagram and I searched for microblading eyebrows and the city where I lived or the city where I wanted to get it done. And then what you're going to do is look at all of the pictures that they post. Again, microblading is huge right now. They want to show off their work. Go through and see all of the pictures that they're posting, and here's what you want to look for. When you're looking at the pictures of their work, look for different brows, thicker, thinner, brighter, darker, lighter, whatever. What that shows you is that the artist that you choose is going to listen to what you want. I'm going to tell you a couple of examples. First of all, you know, this is my job, right? Being on YouTube, being on Instagram, being on Facebook, right? I have seen so many of the younger girls, again, I'm 54, I have seen so many of the younger girls in their 20s and they've all got really big bushy eyebrows, okay? That's not what I want. I want something that looks pretty natural, that in a couple of days, it's been 2 days, so in a couple of days, somebody's just gonna go, wow, you have great eyebrows. I'm gonna go, yeah, they're microbladed. No, that's what I want. I have seen some of the girls on Instagram, all of their eyebrows look exactly the same. I have seen some of my friends, mature women like myself, out in public, and I've seen some that I'm like, oh my gosh, her eyebrows look amazing. I need to find out where she goes. And then I have seen some that when I've talked about microblading, they go, oh, you need to go to my girl. And I'm thinking to myself, oh, yikes. No, thank you. I was talking to the girl who did my eyebrows, and I was telling her all of this, and she said, let me tell you something. She said, when I first started, because she has a background in coloring, and she said, when I first started doing this and I knew that this is really what I wanted to do, that this was my passion to microblade and to do eyebrows, she goes, I went out and I just went to different salons. She says, and one day I went to a salon, she says, and I was actually getting my nails done. And I looked at one of the girls and I saw her eyebrows and I thought, and I said, oh, wow, I really like your eyebrows. And she said, oh yeah, you know, whatever the girl's name was here in the salon. She goes, oh yeah, Mary does them. She said, I looked around and every single girl in that salon, their eyebrows, they all looked identical. Come to find out, are you ready for this? Come to find out, some of the artists just use a stencil and they just fill it in. So all of the eyebrows that they do are exactly the same. That's not what I want. So the sweet girl that microbladed my eyebrows, she measured and pinpointed and put tape and drew lines and everything because it's symmetry, right? You want that to look the same on this side as this side. You want it to look the same. When you watch my video on filling in your eyebrows, I give you pointers on where it should end, where the middle is, where it should start, all of that. That's what she does. She measures it to make sure that they're exactly the same and they're exactly what I wanted. We went through like 5 or 6 different color options. And so she made and created the brows that I wanted. Here's how it works. First of all, like I said, mine ran $550. When you make your initial appointment, because each appointment takes like about 2 hours, especially your initial appointment, because you've got the consultation, you're picking out the colors, you're doing everything, you're going to look at it, say, oh, I need a little bit more over here, whatever. So that first appointment's going to take about 2 hours because that's a big chunk of her day. She's going to ask for a deposit, probably $50, maybe $100. Shouldn't really be any more than that. And that goes toward the overall price. So you'll be there about 2 hours or so. I don't think it was any longer than that. You could show her some of the pictures that she posted in her feed and show her and say, this is exactly what I'm looking for. And then she has a place to go. Also, if you are filling in your brows yourself, try to fill them in the best you can before you get there so she sees exactly what you're doing now and what you're looking for. Now, I told you the price and I said how long that first appointment is, but I did want to say too that that first appointment, you're probably going to pay about 2/3 of the overall cost. I have seen what my experience is in calling around. You're going to pay a deposit. When you go for your appointment, you're going to end up paying about 2/3 of the overall cost. And then you have to go back to touch up. I'll talk about that in a second. You'll go back to touch up in about 4 to 6 weeks, and that's where you'll pay the balance. So it's not going to be the entire $500 or $600 all at one time. I've never had a tattoo. If you've ever had one, or you are familiar with them, or you know someone who's had one, then you know that when they tattoo an area, they numb that area. That's exactly what you can expect. They will numb your brows so that you hardly even feel it. When the procedure is all done, you look at it, you can say that you want more, you want it darker, whatever, she'll show it to you. Know that it will be swollen, and when you leave there, here is something you need to know. You know, if you've ever changed your hair drastically, you know, don't schedule family pictures or a new job interview or something like the next day. Need time to let it calm down. This is no exception. Next, I want to show you a picture of what I looked like. I want to say it was the next day after my initial appointment. When you leave there, it's going to be very tender. You had a procedure done. It's going to be very tender. It's going to be a little red because, you know, your skin is going to be tender and kind of irritated. But the next day or 2 days later, it's going to be about 2 to 3 shades darker than what you wanted. That is completely normal, and your artist is going to remind you of that, but please know that. So if you can, make your appointment about 3 or 4 days before you need to be at work or a big meeting or a trip or a wedding or pictures or whatever, because the couple of days afterwards, you're going to be like, yikes, that is scary. Here's a couple of things that you want to expect after you leave there. So that boldness will only last a few days, and then it'll kind of calm down a little bit, and you can expect some fading. You can expect that you're going to have to go back to get it touched up in about 4 to 6 weeks. In that 4 to 6 week time frame, you can expect fading that it will end up being, I'm going to say 75% of what it was when you left. So you'll lose about 25% of it. And the reason that that's good is it kind of gives you the opportunity to go, oh gosh, I didn't really love that, or I think I need a little bit more. In my case, I wanted it just a touch darker, and I wanted it just a touch fluffier. I was so afraid that I would end up with the big caterpillar, huge Instagram 25-year-old eyebrows that I was like, I don't want it that big. So they weren't as fluffy as I wanted them. So when I went back for my second appointment, she made them just a little bit darker and just a little bit fuller. So 6 weeks after my initial appointment is when she did the final brow, where I went back and said, I just needed a little bit darker, and I needed a little bit fluffier. So she did all that. That was 2 days ago. Then you have to go back about every 6 to 8 months. And then she said you may even graduate into once every 9 to 12 months. And that's just going to depend on how well your skin takes to that tattoo, basically. How much fading you have, how sensitive your skin is. So once you do that initial, you'll pay a deposit, you'll go to that first appointment, you'll pay about 2/3 of the cost. Then when you go to that final appointment, you'll pay for the remainder. So after my initial appointment and then this appointment 2 days ago, that's when I paid the total, which I think was about $550 altogether. Now I have to go back in probably 6 to 8 months. So now every touch-up that I go to now, 6 to 8 months or so apart, will be about $200. Here's what you can expect after every single appointment. Your artist should give you some antibacterial gel, like a Neosporin, kind of an ointment, absolutely positively you want to use that. I didn't have any problems at all with my first appointment. I used all of the ointment for 5 to 7 days, just like she said. She said, don't get in the shower face first where the water is hitting you straight on. You're not going to want to tan. You're not going to want to swim. You're not going to want to put any harsh chemicals or anti-aging anything over your brows. You want to treat those as if you have a sore, like a burn or a bad scrape. It doesn't look like that. It doesn't feel like that, but that's the way you want to treat that. That skin is very irritated, like it would be if you had a tattoo. And if you don't keep that ointment on there for several days after, then it could scab. You could get a sore. If that scab comes off, it's going to take that color off with it, and you're going to notice a noticeable difference, noticeable splotches and blank spots in your eyebrows. So treat it like baby skin. Treat it like you had a bad scrape or a bad burn. Again, this is 2 days later. I don't have a bad scrape or a bad burn, but I am absolutely treating it with the ointment that she gave me for several days just to make sure that nothing happens. So a week from now, it just looks like I have fabulous brows. And I am so pleased. I heard somebody say this, and I absolutely agree with this. I got my brows done not because I'm high maintenance. I got my eyebrows done because like I said, I felt like I looked like my grandma when I didn't have makeup on, saving me so much time. So I don't really look at it as high maintenance as much as now I'm much less maintenance because I got my brows done. I hope all of that was helpful. I hope I answered all of your questions. I am so glad I did this. I can't believe I waited so long. And truly, I just didn't want to spend the money. I really don't like to spend that much money. So you know what I did? I asked Santa for them for Christmas. So Santa gave this to me for Christmas. My brows were my Christmas present. I hope I answered all of your questions. I hope this was helpful. If it was, please let me know in the comments. I hope that you'll like this video, subscribe, come over and find me on Facebook or Instagram at Just Doing My Best. God bless you. Go out today and be blessed and do your best.